But I just wanted to quickly touch on something I asked last night. I know a few of you saw this and responded. It was just about our nutrition challenge. Now, I know not all of you have taken part, and that's absolutely fine. And some of you have taken photos and have kind of kept them to yourself just for reference, or you sent them to me privately, and that's all fine. The point last night was I asked what you guys had noticed about the 7 days. And so something that came through in pretty much every comment, whether you used the exact word or not, was just an awareness of what you were doing. All right, and that's really the point of these challenges. You know, awareness is such a foundation of any kind of change, especially around like food and things you do on a day-to-day basis, because we just go on autopilot all the time. Well, I've got a little analogy for you in a second. I think that I learned on a coaching course that really kind of clarified things for me and made things a little bit easier. But just before I get onto that, you know, last year we ran like quite a strong online accountability coaching around food that was similar to this, these challenges that are going in the nutrition group, but just like every single day for months on end. And some of you I know who are here and watching this were part of that, and you know it had like really good results. And I don't know if you saw Will's transformation recently on my profile. I don't work with a lot of men, but I work with a couple. All he was doing, the only thing he was doing, was sending me photos every single day of his food. I gave him a rough template to follow, and all he was doing was sending those things every day. He was working out twice a week, and the sessions weren't anywhere near as tough as the ones we do at boot camp. All right, but he was just following those portion sizes, which aren't drastically different from, you know, a normal portion size, and sending the photos in. And the beauty of the beauty of that kind of awareness is that. I use this example all the time on the phone with clients when I'm talking about this, is when I go to when I was a kid, whenever we used to go on a journey somewhere in the car, we'd stop and get a chocolate bar or something, even if the journey was only 45 minutes, probably because I was an absolute shitbag in the car and my mum just wanted to shut me up. But we'd stop and get a chocolate bar. And so what that means is that now when I go to a petrol station or I go on a journey, even to my friend, he's got a friend in Salisbury, it's Salisbury, I always stop at the Starbucks in Mere, get a coffee and a chocolate bar or something. There's absolutely no reason for me to do that, but it's just it's kind of a habit, but it's also because I know no one's watching me. If Mel's in the car, a different story. I drive past the Starbucks. But if I knew I had to send a video to or a picture to someone every single day, then I may not do that. It just provides that little break. As you're reaching for the chocolate bar, you're thinking, oh shit, I've got to send this later on to Kieran, but I'm not going to do that. Right, and that over time is enough to generate some really good results. All right, so. On that, I want you to think of kind of what you do, these things that you're currently unaware of, like maybe your eating or your busyness, or kind of I don't know, anything else in your life that you're not entirely happy with. I want you to think of yourself or your mind as like a little iPod. All right, and there's two types of examples here. So one type of person lives their life like their mind is an iPod shuffle. All right, they just get up every day and hit play, and whatever plays. It could be some classical, it could be some hip hop, it could be some jazz, it could be whatever, and they can't skip. So it's like an iPod shuffle that you can't skip. So whatever the song is playing, they'll just be that way. So if it's a happy song, they're happy. If it's a sad song, they're sad. If it's a high tempo song, they're upbeat. If it's a low tempo song, their mood's low, or whatever. All right, and that's kind of categorized by being a bit scatty. Maybe you can't stick to a task for very long, or you just up and down all day, up and down. And there seems to be no kind of clarity at all. So that's one type of person. And I want to just preclude the next bit by saying that you're not strictly this type of person or this. We both flip. We will flip between both. As we go through our day, our week, our month, our lives, and you can spend the morning being an iPod shuffle person and an afternoon being an iPod person, and I'll explain in a second. So you all remember the classic iPod, yeah, where you could kind of select your songs. Well, if you're not an iPod shuffle person, most people are just a one genre person. So how can I explain this? Okay, so my parents loved rock music. All right, but imagine your parents loved rock music, and all you grew up listening to was rock all the time. And when you bought your first iPod, your parents had preloaded all their favorite rock albums onto it. So all you listened to was rock. Through your 20s, through your 30s, wherever you're at right now, all you listen to is rock. As far as you're concerned, everything that exists in life is rock music. All right, and so when people like me or Bernard or somebody else says, oh, why don't you try changing this behaviour? That's like saying, oh, why don't you listen to this jazz music? And as far as you're concerned, jazz doesn't even exist, So how this works in like real terms, this could be something like maybe all your life you were told that too many carbs are bad for you. Maybe that's what your parents believe, maybe that's what your friends believe, that carbs are bad. So actually, when someone like me comes along and says, oh, hey, actually carbs are really good for you, you need to be eating them, you're like, what? No, that doesn't resonate with me. That's not the soundtrack I'm used to listening to. Okay. And this can sometimes go on, people get stuck in their ways, don't they? They get stuck in their ways for their entire life because they're listening to the same soundtrack. And I'm sure you catch yourself sometimes, or notice friends like just saying the same thing on repeat over and over again, week after week, month after month, year after year. And we all get like that. But the beauty of having an iPod is you can load new music onto it. All right, so what I'm trying to do, and Bernard and I are trying to do in the course we're putting up, and some of the videos I put up as well. We're trying to show you that actually there's another way. There's a whole another way of doing things if you're prepared to kind of give it a go, and load that track onto your iPod. And the only way you can really do this, going back right to the start of the conversation, is by being really critically aware of what you do. Now I'm going to show you guys something. I don't know if I put this, I think I put this up last week. My little book this book, by the way, is literally everything to me. It's my Bible. There is everything in here. So at the start of each month, Christ, I'm going back some now. No, that's too far. Here we go, cool. So I don't know if you can see that there. That's like my habit chart, all right? And you can see last week, pretty much nothing happened. And this week, not very strong so far. So towards the left, like I'm really seeing how my behaviours, how my habits kind of fall into old patterns after a couple of weeks, okay? So for me, I can see really, really clearly what I do on a day-to-day basis because I've forced myself to become aware. At the end of every single day, I tick off, what have I done, what haven't I done? And, it's easy for me to see the correlation between start of the month, really strong, really committed, kind of like a new year, new year, new me, all that crap. And then towards the end, I kind of tail off. So if you haven't already done that tracking exercise, and I think this was in the video, the snacking video I put up last week, about at the end there was a 7-day challenge, and it was to track certain behaviors over the course of the next week. If you haven't done that or you haven't watched the video, check it out. If not, don't worry too much, because I'm going to be putting this together as a little 7-day challenge for next month, for you all to have a go at. But yeah, I hope that made sense to you. I know I rambled a little bit in the middle, but that's what I do. I'm a rambler. And I told myself I'd finish this in another 10 minutes, and it's 9 minutes and 19 seconds, so I'm going to stop here. But guys, really well done on the nutrition challenge. And I know a few of you have messaged me about it, and I am going to get back to you. All right, as soon as I've recorded the videos with Bernard, I'll get on that. All right, guys, have a great day. Enjoy your sessions later, and I will see you tomorrow or Friday. All right, take care.